For 18 years, the London Lords senior football teams were an integral part of the local sporting scene. Girded on by the possibility of one day having a team in the Canadian Football League, the Lords were spawned in 1955 by a spirited community group led for the most part by Ralph Duffus, Gilbride and Ken Lemon. That was a heady time for Londoners. A quarterback club for the fans was organized. There would be cheerleaders and marching bands. Both CFPL and CKSL radio stations would broadcast the game. Labatt Park, never made for pro football, was transformed into a makeshift stadium. Old pro Indian Jack Jacobs was brought in to serve as player coach. The Lords took flight in 1956, playing in the Senior ORFU against Toronto Balmy Beach, Rochester, N.Y, Sarnia Golden Bears, and the defending champion Kitchener-Waterloo Dutchmen. The Dutchies would win the ORFU title again in 1956 and 1957, in what can best be described as all-out wars with Jacobs trying to outplay Kitchener-Waterloo's Mercury-like Bob Soleri. In 1958 and 59, it was Sarnia taking the championship. Then in 1960, with former Argo Al Bruno at the helm and the talented Jerry Tompkins at quarterback, the Lords finally reached pay dirt by defeating the Detroit Port Huron Raiders. The Raiders lineup was dotted with one-time university and college players from the Michigan area. Gus Cifelli, the Notre Dame All-Star tackle who was part of the Detroit Lions' 1952 championship team, was their head coach. Over the regular season, the Raiders won 3 of 4 meetings with the London Lords. In the opener, before more than 2,000 fans in Port Huron's Memorial Stadium, the Raiders converted 2 blocked punts and a fumble into scoring plays to win 24-23. It was a different story in Game 2 before 2,500 fans at Labatt Park. Running back Bob Fivash led the fired-up Lords with 2 touchdowns as they denied Cifelli and the Raiders the opportunity of becoming the first U.S. team to win a Canadian Football League title. The final score in Game 2 was 35-20, giving the Lords the total points round 58-44. Tompkins, who would quarterback the Montreal Alouettes the next season, passed to Ernie White and Bob Hansen for the other London TDs. Lamar Lee kicked 2 field goals, 4 converts, and a single. The 1960 final marked the end of an era. Kitchener-Waterloo had folded before the season began, and attempts to revive that once-proud franchise proved futile. Sarnia and Detroit joined the American Football Conference in 1961. The Lords declined and moved to an Ontario Intermediate Caliber League with a homebrew lineup, but the once-proud Senior ORFU was dead, never to be resurrected. As a reward for bringing the title to London, the city honored the 1960 Lords with a civic dinner. Today, the London Sports Hall of Fame is honoring them again by including them as 2011 inductees.